So hello and welcome back to another video. Now today I've come out again with the Samson Longcast and I'm going to be doing some lure fishing for bass. Now the conditions today are actually really good. Now obviously sometimes you can come out, conditions look perfect and there's no fish. Other times you have the complete opposite thing where it looks flat calm, everything's against you and you end up having a blinder. Now I've walked down here, I've just got to the mark and I've just set the rod up. I've had a little look around and yeah, the conditions are pretty good. We've got quite a strong breeze today, which is going to be a bit of a crosswind. So I'm going to have to battle against that a little bit, but it's not too bad at the moment. I think the wind's meant to stay about the same as what it is now. So we'll just have to see how we go and see what it's like when we're fishing. Now I'm going to be using surface lures today. I'm starting with a floating surface lure, which is a 45 gram Patchinko 165. I also have with me, I'll just grab them. Battling against the wind, I've also got some of these. Now these are the Samson shads. We've got the mullet version here, and this is a 45 gram lure. And I've also got the sandy, which is a lovely green sort of sand eel looking colour lure, and this is a 50 gram. So we've got these to throw against, hopefully punch against that wind. Hopefully I'm not going to have many issues with wind knots and things like that. But we're just gonna have to see how it goes. I'm really hoping there's some fish about here today. So yeah, hopefully we can find a few bass, make a decent video and yeah, provide a bit of entertainment. So I'm gonna get myself sorted now, gonna get a lure straight in the water. We'll see if we can find some fish. So, like I said, Samson Longcast today, 30 to 100 gram. Patchinko 165, 45 gram lure. I'm using a Pen Slammer 3500. And we're going to be casting into this area here and also towards my left. Now there's a big drop off here, there's a ledge right under me and there's a big drop off. So as that tide drops, what you can get is fish follow the lure in and they go for the lure as soon, just before this ledge. Now there's some shallower ground to my right, you can fish the whole area. So I'm just going to throw this lure out. I've got the wind coming from my right, but at the moment it's not too bad and hopefully it stays that way. So let's get that first cast out there. You've just got to be careful on these rocks as well because they're all covered in weed, very slippery. All I'm going to do, wind in the slack and then just give the lure a couple of taps and pause it. A couple more taps and pause it, and I just do that all the way in. And this lure kicks up a bit of a splash, and obviously it's got that rattle as well, so when fishing it in deeper water the bass can hear and see that lure. They'll come up from the depths and swipe at it. There's a nice bit of chopping here as well, so it's a nice bit of cover for the fish. So the good thing about using this rod today, I can cast just like that, straight into the wind. And that's going a good 50 meters. So straight into that shallow ground there. It's all over rock and reef, hidden gullies in between. And I can just work that lure straight back to me. I just thought I'd target the shallower ground whilst that tide's flooding out, while there's still water in there, just to see if there's anything lurking. And then I can focus on the deeper water afterwards. Just had something go for it then. Could have possibly been a garfish, just came up behind the lure. So it wasn't a very big swirl at all. Could have been a garfish maybe. Well, it's definitely taken a while. I've been casting flat out into this area, giving it a few in this direction and a few to my left. Had one little swirl behind the lure, but I really don't know if that was even a bass or not. If it was, it looks small. But there's no other activity, no bird activity or anything like that. So I'm just going to keep going. I'm still on the floating surface lure. What I might do is switch to a Samson shad in a moment, fish that deeper in the water and see if that makes any difference. Could just be a case of there not being any fish here at the moment, or not quite sure. So I'm on the move now. There's not a lot happening in that area. I'm going to go and fish some shallower ground over here. I'm going to be casting into the wind a little bit, but I'm just going to see how I get on. Got the floating surface lure on again because it's very shallow over there, so we'll go have a look. But however, I was just walking along the water's edge here, always just scoping around, seeing what you can find, and I've come across this. Now that's the species we're looking for, but this one has definitely seen better days. Now I don't know whether that's come out of someone's crab pot or what, or whether it's a bass that's been attacked by a seal or something, or attacked by something bigger. But we've got the head of a bass there. Looks like a fairly good size as well. It's probably about 3-4 pound. So yeah, I was just scoping along the water's edge here as I'm walking to the other area. I thought I'd give you a quick show of that guy. I'm trying to aim that lure a lot further to my right than I actually want it, because right against the crosswind here. So I'm going to have a big bow in the line. I'm just going to work that lure through this ground. Probably have about 10 casts here. There's another area to my right which is literally just straight into the wind, so I'll give it a go there as well. And you never know. The water's quite murky, so literally there could be a bass lurking anywhere. I'm in. That fish just took me straight into a snag at first, but I'm into a bass here. I've got no idea of the size. There wasn't even really a swell, just a tiny... I'll tell you in a second where I cast that lure, because I cast it right towards some rough ground, and within just 1 or 2 winds of the reel, that fish took. I can't even get it up to the surface. There we go, I can see it. This could be a nice fish. Gotta just pray I can land it. I'm sorry about the camera, but just need to focus on getting this fish in. Whoa, he's going some. Whoa, he's really, God, he's not hooked very well either. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna land this. Come on. He's wrapped up in that weed. Can I get him up here? Yes! There we go. That's a fine bass. What an absolute beauty. Well, I don't have the other camera set up at the moment. I'll get it set up. But check this out. That's a lovely bass, that. An absolutely lovely bass. I'll get the measure out and we'll see how much it goes. So check this out. Third cast into this new area. I've got my card out. I'm going to give this fish a measure. I've got the measure ready there. But what an absolutely fine fish. Really good condition. Nice fat bass there. Whoa. Now before he wrecks my rod, I'll get him unhooked and we'll get a measure. An absolute beauty. I'd say that, I reckon that'll go 4 pound, that. That's an absolutely brilliant bass. Over the moon about it. Way on that Samson Longcast on the Patchinko 165. Great stuff. I'll put this chest cam on so you guys can get a view, but right, that's on 0. Now then, leave that card in the background. You can probably see here, that's on 0 near the head. And as we come to the tail ends here, it is actually 58. So that's my second 58 centimetre bass for saltwater lure fishing Slabtober. Great stuff. I'll give you a better show on this camera as well. As you can see, that's on 0. And here, I hope the GoPro picks this up. End of the tail is here and going straight up 58 centimetres. So, moving definitely paid off. That was third cast into this area. Now what I did was, I had one cast to my right hand side, second cast, chucked it straight to my left. I noticed that there's a patch of reef which is just exposing slightly, straight ahead of me. So I blasted the lure straight towards that. Now as I wound in the slack, I literally gave it 1 or 2 taps and bang, I had a fish on. Now there was no swirl, so it came up like under the water. The lure must have been sort of horizontal in the water and it came up and took it from the bottom. It took me straight into a snag. I could feel it pulling on the snag. Luckily I managed to get it out. It must have just been around a rock rather than into weed. And yeah, it stayed deep the whole time. Now I find that 90% of fish over 4 pound, they'll hit and they're just a lump. Sometimes they can, you know, spiral out of control and go crazy, but sometimes it's just they're a lump and they stay deep in the water. That's exactly what this one did. I mean, I wouldn't know what a 10 pound bass does, I've never caught one, but what I have found is bass 4, 5, 6 pound, that's what they do. They hit the lure and they kind of just thump and stop. But yeah, luckily I managed to get it up. It was only just hooked in the top of the lip. But a 58 centimetre bass, that's my second 58 centimetre for the saltwater lure fishing Slabtober contest, which runs until the 31st of October. And today, I think it's the 27th. It is indeed the 27th of October. And this is only the 3rd time I've been bass lure fishing this month. I've caught 3 bass on all occasions. I think I've been 4 times actually. I blanked once. But I've had 2 58 centimetres now. And I had a 52 earlier in the month. So yeah, I've equalled my my entry already. You never know, we might find a bigger one. I'm going to fish this area still and just keep moving around. We are bang on low water, so it'll be worth sticking around here for the next hour and just seeing if we can find any more fish. Let's fire that lure out. Just wind in that slack and then start working it. And we'll see if the same thing happens again. I'd be over the moon if it did. But like I said, we're bang on low water now, so it's going to be slack for probably only about 15-20 minutes or so, and then it will start flooding in again. We've got big tides, so certainly moves quickly. That wind has actually picked up quite a bit in the last 10 minutes or so. It's whipping right across here, just making casting a little difficult. Even with a heavier lure, I'm getting through it, but that wind is taking it a bit. Even though we're on slack tide, the tide's still ripping through here quite a lot, which is good. Definitely a good area to target. Now I can always move back to where I was a little earlier as well, because it could be worth a go round there, bang on low. Oh yeah, I'm in, boom. This one's smaller. Whee! That one came up with no hesitation. It's definitely smaller, this one, but still a bass. Not quite sure how he's hooked, is he? Oh yeah, he's a lot smaller, this one. I'm going to actually lift this one up and out. Gotta tell you what, that's still not bad though. There we go. And there we are. Are small bass put off by big lures? And the answer to that is definitely no. Well, this one actually came on hook easier than I thought. But there we are, another bass there. Probably 2 pound, but still great to catch another fish on that Patchinko lure. But let's get him back. Now, yeah, it's turned out to be a good session now. After moving spots, 2 fish down within about 10 casts, so definitely worth moving along the bay here. Now that wind's picking up quite a bit, it's starting to drizzle a little bit. However, I'm staying. I'm going to stay here for half an hour or so. I'm going to keep the floating surface lure on, that Patchinko, and this camera's playing tricks on me again. Yeah, I'm going to keep that floating surface lure on. Going to continue fishing into this area. There is a bit right in front of me here, rough ground close in but into a sandy bay. It could be worth a go in there. That's head on into the wind. However, if there's a few fish in here, I'm just going to stick here for now. Now we're only half an hour after low water and already I can see that tide's flooding in, because there's certain rocks out there that were slightly exposed before and they're completely covered now. Getting a little bit deeper just in front of me. So it just goes to show how quickly the tide does turn. This is why if you're ever anywhere where you can get cut off, you always need to make sure how long you've got as soon as the tide starts flooding back in. Some places it really won't be long whatsoever. Now I'm going to give it 5 more casts. I've just had some more, a couple of casts into the headwind into that sandy area, but nothing going there. So I'll just give it a few more in here and then I'm going to head off. So that's going to do it for my little session today. It's been thoroughly enjoyable. We've got 2 bass, one nice one which I have actually ended up keeping. This is going to be the last bass I keep of the year. We normally keep about 5 or 6 throughout the year, but it's a nice size. I've actually weighed it and it weighs 4 pound 1 ounce. So yeah, lovely fish there. Now all taken on the long cast. That extra bit of strength, especially in these conditions, can punch out heavier lures. It's been absolutely ideal. The Patchinko 165 as well, one of my new favourite surface lures. The 140, the 125 are go-tos of mine. The 165 is definitely making more of an appearance in my lures. My battery on one camera, switch over to the other one, but I'm wrapping it up there. I hope you've enjoyed the video. The bass fishing over here has been pretty good lately. There's definitely a lot of fish around and there's no massive ones, but they do seem to be getting bigger. So the autumn bass fishing is definitely kicking off right now, and hopefully it's going to continue throughout winter. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks to everybody who subscribes. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Loads of bass fishing videos on there. And if you like this video, please feel free to comment or hit that like button. So once again, thank you very much. I'll see you on the next one.